Okay, everyone, let me get you started on chapter 4. So this is about chemical reactions and equations, and it's they're all important chapters, but this is also a really important fundamental chapter that I need you guys to know about. So this is about chemical reactions and equations, and so there's the opening essay. You're going to learn how to write equations that will show a chemical reaction that happens in real life. So chemists use a lot of shorthand, so we don't have to write so much. So this is going to be an example of a chemical reaction. So you have hydrogen gas, oxygen gas making water on the right side. These are called the reactants, and this is called the product side. So reactants are what you start with, and then after you do the reaction, you get the products. And we have to learn how to balance everything. And so we're going to add coefficients to the front of these molecules. We're never going to change these numbers. These are the subscripts. We're never going to change those. We're just going to change the numbers in the front, the coefficients. And those go in the front. So it's like if I came up to you and ripped off your arm, you wouldn't be happy. So molecules don't like it either. If I decided to change that number, it'd be like I'm changing their body. And they don't want that. This body is the way they're made. The only thing we can do is say if we have more than one of these particular molecules in the reaction. So we can only change coefficients. So remember, change coefficients, the numbers in front, but you cannot change subscripts which show the body, how the molecule's made. So you're going to have some examples to look through and try those. Try as many as you can, because you're going to want to be able to go from word sentences to chemical reactions and be able to balance them. So balancing is another important skill we need throughout the whole semester. It's fundamental to chemistry, so you need to learn how to do that. So please try as many as you need to till you get there. I'll have some additional activities that you can do for balancing. But right now, try these in the book. You're going to learn about types of reactions. You're going to learn about different categories that we have. So one category is single and double displacement. And so a single replacement reaction or displacement, you'll hear it both ways, is when like a couple, two elements are together, and then zinc removes that hydrogen and takes the place of hydrogen. So that's called single. Double is the same idea. It's like if you have two couples and they both swap partners. So that's double replacement. So learn how to find these, because this is really important. You'll see an activity series. So like if you have, this is kind of, think of having a couple on the dance floor, and then we have an element that's more attractive. So it can knock out the place of one of the people in the couple. So that's called an activity series. So read about that. And then we have reactions that form something called a precipitate, which is a solid. And so you'll see about that. You'll learn about that. And once they form solids, they can also be dissolved in a solvent. So those are solubility rules, whether something wants to dissolve or not. Solubility rules. And here's some rules for that, which are important. And then you're going to read about, when we get there, try these practice problems. The next one is ionic equations. Remember, ions are things that have charges, elements that have added electrons or removed electrons and become ions. So you'll learn about ionic equations and how they work and how things dissolve in solvents. And this is another important concept that you need, is called complete and net ionic equations. And this will take us a while to get used to. So please, this is another important thing to read about, and we need to practice this because it's not an easy skill. So this is a really important section here. And you'll learn about net ionic equations. So complete and net ionic equations are something we're going to get really familiar with, so I need you guys to read this. And there's practice problems there, and you'll see the answers there. So this, I would really recommend that you try these on your own, so you get the idea of how to do those. The next three kinds of reactions are composition or combination, decomposition and combustion reactions. So composition, sometimes you'll see it as combination or synthesis. I usually call it synthesis. It's when you have two different elements on the left forming one thing on the right. So that's a composition. In this book they call it composition. Most of the time you'll see it as combination or synthesis. Decomposition is the exact opposite, where you have one kind of molecule that's breaking into pieces on the right hand side. That's decomposition. So learn about that. And you need to be able to recognize these different types of reactions, because that's like a typical test question or quiz question. Combustion, the signs for this is you'll have a fuel that usually has carbon in it. You'll have oxygen. These are both on the left side. And then you'll see carbon dioxide and water on the right side. Those are the clues that you have a combustion reaction. So anytime you burn a fuel that's got carbon in it, you make carbon dioxide and water. So right now you're breathing these two things out, these gases out of when you are respiring. Because you've taken in oxygen, you're using fuel from your food that you're eating, and then you make CO2 in your breath and water in your breath as well. So learn the signs for these different types of reactions. And then another reaction is called neutralization, when you have an acid and a base coming together to form a product, and that's called neutralization. So read about the concept of an acid and a base and a salt. These are important. And we'll come back to this in a later chapter. And then they're showing you net ionic reactions there. And then I think one of the last ones is redox. We call it redox for short. It's when electrons are moving from one place to another. So we'll have another chapter on this as well. So this is an introduction for this topic for you. And then later we'll have a whole chapter on it. And then it shows you, this is important here, where they're showing you how to figure out the oxidation numbers, the charges for ions, so please look at that. And then here's the homework for you folks. Okay, so this is where you'll find the homework questions and the answers for some of those questions. So I hope that's a good introduction to you. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.